Welcome to Dandysoap DIY. I'm Elizabeth, and today we're going to make a floating star. And as you can see, I've took a 1x4. Just use your pallet wood or anything extra. These are handmade, homemades, using what you already have in stock. And I used my handy dandy jigsaw. You guys have heard me talk about it. Made it really simple and easy, and I could cut out my shape. This will make accommodating the star real easy. I'm using a 3-dimensional one I got from Dollar Tree. I cut off the excess from the bottom to create me a platform, making it an easy display, and I just screwed it into place. Now I know everyone may have not tried the antique wax, but I'm going to demonstrate here how easy and simple it is to create your tone. These wax brushes are specially designed so that you can massage the wood while you apply. And when you coat it with the antique and wax, you'll be able to cover it with just a small dab on that brush. Now I'm going to follow this with the clear wax to demonstrate to you how you can create the tone and hue that you desire, making this truly a traditional Christmas display, making it really easy to accommodate your decor and match your wood pieces in your home. You'll want to lightly buff it with a soft cloth or paper towel such as I have, and you're going to allow it to dry. The wax will seal the wood and protect it for many years and keep it smooth and easy to dust. As you can see here, I'm easily adjusting the contrast and tone of my wood display. These brushes make it really neat. So now we have this beautiful piece. Grab a set of your lights. I know everyone has extra ones, and these are the LED. Now I'm going to demonstrate how I turned this 3-dimensional star into a floating star, and you'll want to remove the wire just as I'm doing here with my needle nose pliers. Once you clip the shorter pieces, the long pieces will need to be clipped as well, but further up. You do not want to break your frame. So by giving yourself that extra wiggle room, you'll be able to go back with the needle nose pliers and make sure you bend it backwards in one direction as not to break the frame. And this happens really quick. Voila, we have our perfect little star. So what you want to do is grab your lights and go ahead and wind the wire, but watch where you place the lights. You want to kind of keep ones in the corner and ones at the arches, but wind it around so that you can adjust that wire by sliding it up or down. And make sure you test your lights, guys. I can't tell you how many times that has become a problem. So always make sure you check your lights first, put fresh batteries in, and then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to use my hot glue gun, and I am a sponsor of SureBonder glue gun as well as the glue sticks. You'll definitely want to incorporate these into your crafts. They last forever. The glue is spot on tacky and it takes very little. So this is what it looks like in the dark, and as you see, I've strategically placed my lights, glued them right where I wanted them. Now we need to take our box, and I attached mine to the back with my SureBonder glue, and therefore I could glue my star into the display to make sure it had stayed. And it will not take a large amount. It will sit right in to your crevice that you cut already. Now I did glue my box, and I corralled all of my extra wire with a piece of jute twine. Make sure you check which side the batteries go in before you glue your box. So grab some of your felt and those little trees and different assorted ornaments. You can really truly be creative with your display, and you can even put verbiage on there or give it as a gift. Those little gift ornaments, you can unwrap them, and they're just little styrofoam squares. I used ribbon of my selection and what I chose to match my contrast and what appearance I wanted my display to look like. And I hot glued it into place, and I followed it with, of course, jute twine to make it look like a traditional Christmas decor. And this will give it a classic look that will last for years. The great thing is you'll be able to go back and replace these pieces and update them as you feel they need. Get you a shish kebab skew and just cut you 2 little pieces of wooden dowel and glue them onto the top of a drum. Now you have complete drum set. I topped and adorned my little gifts with some pine cone miniatures and different things. Now I'm going to glue everything onto my display. As I said before, it takes very little of the hot glue. And I wrap the tree with the garland berries. All of these items come from Dollar Tree, so it's real simple to go ahead and use the supplies you already have on hand. Make beautiful traditional Christmas decor. And you can even convert these into primitive home decor for Christmas as well. Now once everything's into place, we can now check our lights again just to see how everything looks. If you're liking this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, well, go ahead and press that button and join the Dandysoap DIY. I would love to hear your comments and your recommendations, as well as share your creativities with me. So here we have it, lit up and showing it off. It's just a beautiful piece. My daughter loved it. So our next project is going to be the wood slice snowman plaque. All these pieces I found on Pinterest, and I really loved them. So I grabbed 2 of those 1x4s, some of that wood glue from Dollar Tree, one of my jumbo tongue depressors, and the wood slices. You can find these in the affiliate link down below. Very reasonably budgeted, and you will use them over and over again. This particular pack has different sizes, so you just select 3 that will look right to make your snowman. Use your wood glue and put your pieces side by side. Once again, this is a great wood palette project that you can use some of your scrap wood or even some of your extra Dollar Tree signs. Now once I've glued that, I place that jumbo stick there and I put it in place with the hot glue as well. The wood glue from Dollar Tree that you are seeing me use is actually designed by the original Super Glue Company, and it works really fast and it dries quickly. So grab your elephant, Waverly chalk, or whichever color you desire. You may even want to antique this board, depending on your decor. Are you traditional? Are you contemporary? Are you primitive? What's your color? Let me know in the comments down below. I painted it with the elephant gray, and I went back, watered down acrylic black paint to make it look more driftwood. Now selecting the wood pieces, those wood slices, I placed the large one at the bottom first and then glued just the little top edges and adhered them to the wood on top of each other so that it looks like a snowman. And this was encouraged by the Pinterest pin that you saw originally. Using leftover felt pieces from Dollar Tree, I created him a felt hat. Now this jute twine that you see me using, it is a braided jute twine. I purchased this through Amazon through my affiliate link, and I'll have that in the description box below too. For the edge of his top hat, I used jute twine. This will give it a more authentic look and that natural shadowing. The leftover scraps from the placemats I had purchased at Dollar Tree, they made a perfect little scarf. And every bit of this was just done with leftover greenery, scrap pieces of fabric and threads, and of course I used my paint markers. Now use the peace sign to determine where to put the eyes, nose, and the mouth. You guys have seen me demonstrate this before. Makes it so much easier and painless. I used a Sharpie orange marker to create his carrot nose. And then all those little scrap pieces of greenery I had left over, I started placing them on the plaque. The berries, the pine cones, and really truly be creative and just make it customized to your taste. Now to give you a better hold of a heavy display like this is the trick I always use. I will take my staple gun and put my jute twine on there. Using the painter's tape and the glue, that will adhere to it and it will never come loose. Now we can hang this heavy piece on the wall and display it. And he is absolutely handsome. Great traditional Christmas decor. So let's make the Solo Cup Snowman. And I'm calling it the Solo Cup Snowman because we've all stopped and gotten a milkshake or a coffee, and we have this great domed lid and cup. The mop head from Dollar Tree and rice. I'm going to fill this cup right around 3/4 full, put the lid on it, and grab me a piece of scrap cloth. This is actually the drop cloth. And I just cut a piece big enough to go over that cup, using a rubber band to secure it to keep the fabric out of the way. So this is how you get this mop head. This is really neat. I used my heavy duty clippers, and one snip, that thing came loose. Took it off, and as you see here, the way that Dollar Tree has woven these, there's a little loop is all that's holding that in place. When you take this loose, you're going to have two individual strands that have been looped together to make the mop. You're only going to need one. So take the other and wind it up and place it aside for a later project. It is soft and easy to use, and it's stretchy. So create you a little circle going there on the top to kind of get it started, and then go back and begin gluing it. Now, when I glue this, I put the glue on the fabric, and I take the mop and pull it across it and then against itself. This way, I'm using a very little amount of glue. You will not use a lot of Surebonder glue. And I'm not only getting adhesion to the cloth, I'm getting adhesion to the mop head strands. Right here, when we get to the edge of that doming, we're going to pull it a little tighter and then glue it in place. So this will help it to descend downward and give us that little contour roundness, so it takes form. And the shape is so easy to do using this Solo Cup. And I just move and graduate the rubber band down out of my way as I go about putting the mop head around it. Now, the reason why I use the fabric is I did not want the rice to accidentally come through the mop strands in case they didn't get glued completely together. That way I have double insurance that my rice is going to stay inside of my form. Now that I'm down at the bottom, I basically pulled that over, and right now we want to remove our Solo Cup from inside. I put a small dent in it, pulled it out, and as you can see, the rice showered down inside. Pulled the dome out, and voila, I can reuse that cup to make more projects. So for the rice, we're going to be moving that upward as we tighten each roll. So the very first one, of course, is our base. And taking the opposite end of the mop strand, I tied it very tall and tight, and then massaged the rice upward for the next layers. Now, I still have the mop strand beginning attached. So I'm going to work my rice and make sure my form is complete. Then I took the excess fabric. When I cut it, I stuffed it back inside, and that filled in the very top so there was no hollowness, and glued my strand of the mop around that, all the way spiraled to the center. And it doesn't take a whole long time. Once you get this started, this transition of creating your snowman is going to happen really, really fast, and you'll move right along. Play you some Christmas music and enjoy it while you build your snowman. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this snowman. And also tell me which one's your favorite project on this video. I would love to hear what you have to say, and if you plan on using any of these ideas and creating your own project. Now, the ribbon spool felt hat, I'm going to show you how you can make your own to fit the form of your snowman. Taking excess cardboard from the spools and the ribbon spools, I first made sure I created the circle that I need. And I took the other spool and cut off the difference. Using some painter's tape, Put that around the edge of your spool. Now you're going to take your scissors and you're going to snip little slices in there because we're going to create. Now set that atop the bigger piece that's a little bit larger than this, and then very gently bring the flaps down and stick them back to it. Now there will be a little bit of gap between each of these pieces, but when we finish this form, voila, we have a good form to start covering with felt. Now I'm going to show you my tricks to how I make felt hats. These are very expensive if you have to buy them. You might find one at Dollar Tree, but this way you can make it any color to match your snowman to have a traditional or primitive snowman for your Christmas decorations. You want to go ahead and put the felt piece beyond the top, down the edge. This gives it full coverage and just simply trim off the difference. Now we need another piece to go around the inner part, and just do you a rough draft cutting of a circle. Use your marker to mark it the size of the spool you're using. Now you're going to cut that center circle out. Slide it over the top, and we're going to glue that into place. Don't cut it off. We want to fold that under and glue it to the bottom. That'll give us a completed finished look. Placing another strip the width of your spool and gluing it around it. Now you can put the extra cutoffs to the bottom. Using this braided black cord, voila, we have this beautiful felt hat totally trimmed out. And this was part of the gift wrapping decorations and so forth at Walmart, and I always buy extra. Now, using the game pieces from the chest or 3-in-1 game set at Dollar Tree, those are wooden and they're already painted black. I used 3 pom-poms, and I'm going to show you how I made the carrot nose with burlap. Just roll it up really tight and glue it, and decide what size you want, and then you're going to trim it down to size. I used an orange Sharpie marker to color mine orange, or you can use a paint marker. We can glue that in the center, and now he has his little nose. And I used a skinnier black type of twine. Now we can glue his hat on because we're ready to start decorating. This is hand woven braided fabric of it's like thread, like Jute twine. Take you a poinsettia and trim it down if you like in order to make a little button for his scarf. And then I just used leftover picks of holly and berries and things to decorating. And I did add him some bells with the braided Jute twine. Welcome to crafting on the Dandysoap DIY channel. Subscribe to get more videos like this one. Next up is our music sheet tree. You're going to enjoy this, and it's so easy to do. The wood slices, the wooden dowels from Dollar Tree, and print you off a sheet from Google. You can just print that out. You do need a full letter size 8x10 sheet. Now in the center of the paper you need to put a mark. And then from that mark in the center of the paper you want to mark out 1 inch. We want to draw an angle from the right mark all the way to the right far corner, and vice versa, making it sort of a triangle. Begin folding it accordion style, back and forth, and it's real important to do this back and forth about 1 inch width, and work your way all the way to the top of your paper. Now that you've got that done, you want to pull it back open, and when you stretch it out, you're going to cut right on those lines, because remember, we need that 1 inch at the top. Refold it back into the accordion style and grab your hole punches. Put a hole punch on that center mark you made, closer to the back versus the front of these folds. Mark your wood slice in the center, drill you a hole. The dowel says 1/4 inch, so I need a 1/4 inch drill bit to make my hole. I love my handy dandy hand drill, and it's so portable and small, I can use it constantly. Drill my hole out. Now I'm going to place it in the hole to check it out. Works perfect. So a little bit of glue around the stick itself. Once the glue has cooled off, I go back and put my glue insurance. As I always tell you guys, use glue insurance. Slide your paper down the dowel and get it a couple inches from the bottom or so. But when you go to unfold this, do it from the back, just like you would a shade in your window. This will keep you from breaking or tearing your paper. I selected a wooden star. My husband had cut a bunch of these out for me. And Dollar Tree had these metallic markers. This was a copper color. It gave it that primitive look and that traditional Christmas that I was going for. And I colored it up with a marker and used a little bit of white to give it a spark. And voila, we have our little music note Christmas tree. Now this one was also Pinterest inspired. This is a desktop wreath, and I'll call it that, and you'll see why. I'm using this little sign that sits around, more music paper, and some white Waverly chalk paint. I also dry brushed my frame with a little bit of black, and using the wood glue, glued the music sheet in the center. So this is how we're going to make this look like the inspirational piece from Pinterest. Take a little piece of that rope, the nautical rope, and glue it in about 4 places to form a wreath in the center of your box. You can use any size box. And using the floral moss from Dollar Tree, we are going to cover our little wreath. Because I did not want to pull out the other greenery that looked pine. I wanted it to look more Victorian type of Christmas decor. And I wanted it so that it could be used for years and years, making it truly a classic that will be loved and adored. Trimmed off the difference, and now I have my cover wreath. I was able to get the white berry garland from Dollar Tree and just form it into a small little wreath itself. Glued it onto my little floral moss wreath, and I grabbed one of those key tags, wrote Noel on it, pulled some ribbon through it to glue it into the center, and made a miniature bow. Voila! Here we have a beautiful little piece that we can put on our desk or on our coffee bar tray. If you're enjoying this channel, do subscribe by clicking the bell, and you will receive notification each time a new video has put up. And every time you hit like, lets YouTube know you enjoy my videos, and they'll be glad to share more with you. I look forward to welcoming you to the Dandysoap DIY. Till the next one, I'll be crafting.